So good evening, India, and good morning. India and America are live today for a special evening for the knowledge sharing purpose to make people understand of the current situation of the coming times. A lot of learnings will happen today. So I welcome you all people to this special evening. Young Minds managed by Shefali Sangal, that's me, and Mr. Jag Singh, managing HR on tips. We are together today for this special evening. I welcome you, Jag, and
Thank you.
thank you so much for joining in today and getting up early in the morning. We understand and totally appreciate that. Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
Thank you so much. And good evening, wonderful audience. We are India from all parts of the country has joined us today. People from Delhi NCR, Rajasthan, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, all parts of the country has joined today. Even I think some people from Bhubaneswar also have joined. So thank you so much for joining us today. I feel where people are struggling with a lot of issues these days. What is the new normal? What is the old normal? Few companies coming up with the practices of working from home for next 6 months for 1 year. So HR is on the toes these days. That how to manage things, how to make work efficient, how to have a foolproof system for everybody so that there are no issues. So there is where Mr. Jag Singh comes into the picture, and we are highly obliged and thankful to him for joining us today. Something about Mr. Jag for people who don't know. He is an industry expert with almost, shall I say, Jag? That otherwise then people will come to know about your exact age.
Oh, that's okay. 15 years of total experience.
Great. So Mr. Jag is founder and CEO of JSimple. Prior to this, he is a computer engineer by background, educational background. He is an ethical hacker mesmerized by data, managed IT solutions for HR in 14 different countries. Designed performance management and onboarding software for British Telecom, Cox Entertainment, Diageo, and some other big conglomerates, big shops. 10 years back, he founded JSimple. He introduced artificial intelligence, infused HRMS, HR on tips. Good thing about Jag is that he is in love with his product. So if a man is in love with his product, then definitely, things will definitely fall in place, and things would be a must know for us, so that, something good product he must have launched. So welcome you, Jag, to this special evening, and over to you. I would like you to speak some words.
Thank you. And welcome everyone. I truly appreciate everybody joining in. But before I begin, I just want to make sure that everybody's okay, especially during COVID times. Living in the United States and managing a company in India and US both, it was quite a challenge. And my heart goes out to all those individuals who are either suffering due to COVID situation, whether financially or emotionally. So my love for all of them. So I'm going to begin this and let's go from there. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, what's the impact of COVID-19? It has an emotional impact. It's not easy to work in this environment. Then there is a financial impact, and companies are pushing how to save money in these tough economic times. Then the remote working, where I think HR comes in play. I'll cover that as well. Then there is a IT and HR impact to the whole organization. And one of the challenge for HR is going to be, how do we do employee engagement remotely? And I always tell people, technology is not a solution. It enables you to put your process toward your goal. So in our view, what we believe, HR is going to reinvent themselves in this virtual world. HR is like really a background or backbone of an organization. So today I'm just going to cover virtual onboarding, but if you have anybody else has any question, they can reach out to my team or Shefali, and we can go from there. Fair enough, Shefali?
Perfectly fine.
Okay. So let's first come up with what is onboarding. The process of familiarizing a new employee. Oh, I'm getting a poll also. Sorry. So just imagine you are invited to your friend's or family's house and the person is not prepared. And they come in and say, oh, wait, let me get my rice. Let me get this masalas. Let me get ready. You'll feel offended, right? So imagine the other word, you go to a family who's well prepared, they have the tea ready on the table, they have the food ready, and they look nice too. You will fall in love with that relative or friend, correct? Onboarding is something like that only for your employees. You want your employees to feel welcome, feel respected. Sometimes we call them giving them a red carpet treatment. Okay. It starts with offer letter and making the productive memo. We're going to cover in a little detail also. So how can you conduct onboarding virtually? Let's first go through quite challenges of onboarding itself before we jump into virtual part. Dropout post acceptance. According to the study, 60 to 70% people, they accept the offer letter and then they don't join, and there is no legal precedence around it either. We also know engaging employee, especially with the physical barriers. If someone is sitting in office, it's easy to talk to them, engage them. It's harder when you do remotely. Logistical issues also. And logistical issues include remotely, internet access, mobile access, or laptop access. Then there is the human element. HR is called human resources for a reason because we all actually, I also consider myself part of HR. We provide that human touch to the individuals. How do we do that? Lastly, being an ethical hacker in my past life, it is very important for, say, data security. I think you all know data security is super duper important for any organization to survive in this world. So these are the challenges.
Jag, here I have a question.
Yes, please.
Can I ask in between, or we shall wait?
You can. You can.
Okay, thank you so much. So we are learning about the virtual world, step-by-step processes. How can we engage people while working from home?
How can we engage people while working from home?
Yeah.
So again, I'm going to come back to is using technology to enable your process. The first, you have to have a home working from home policy or remote working policy, which requires individual to clock in or clock out. A. Second, have a periodic video session with them. And being a HR, I've seen online where people say, oh, I'm so casual, I can be in my pajamas and be on the video call. Don't encourage that behavior. People working from home, they need to get ready as they would go to the office. Cultivate that behavior from the beginning. Do more often, 3 to 4 times a video call. Tell your managers to video call with them. That way they will feel part of the organization. So a lot of people, like, instead of doing a phone calls, they are actually following Hangout and Google Meet to engage with them. Lastly, regarding employee engagement, do some online polling classes or watching a video together and then do a comprehension test after the video. Those are few techniques you can follow to bring them close to you.
Okay.
Make sense?
Makes sense. Thank you so much for sharing this.
Sure. So let's talk about a little step-by-step process. So what's the first step? I'm going to cover onboarding in 2 pieces, pre-boarding and post-boarding. So everything, the employee is not a full-time employee unless they start on the start date. So this slide that you're looking at, pre-boarding, is a pre-boarding before the start date. A lot of things can be accomplished. So let's say they give you offer letter online. It represents you welcoming them and giving them a clarity of their role and offer. You do a video call, as Shefali you just mentioned. Do a first video call with them or with the candidate who has accepted the offer letter, welcoming them. Say, I'm HR, I'm Shefali, or I'm Jag, or I'm Karnika. And then share some of your leaders' video. It could be CEO, it could be VP. This builds a relation and respect of the leader for the organization for this new candidate who is joining in. Show them this is all done online in step-by-step process, very linear. By talking about the company, people fall in love with the brand. Do all the forms online. And please check with your local laws how your local laws allows you to have e-signatures or not. In United States, it's allowed, and in UK, it's allowed. So all the forms are filled by the candidate. Makes sure the spellings and everything is absolutely correct, rather than they're doing it over sitting in reception or sitting on their desk at office. You share all the policies.
I want to run a small poll. Jack, can I do that?
Yeah, sure, sure. You want me to pause for a second?
We'll be giving you 20 seconds. We just want to check, how many of us are facing problems with onboarding? Can you please poll? Is my poll visible?
I can see it.
Yes, it is.
Because I have not received any response. Okay, so I'm just ending and I'm sharing the results. Jack, do you mind sharing the results, because I'm not able to see the results?
I have shared it on screen. Oh man, so 70% people think that, yeah, that's true. I mean, we face the same problem too.
Okay. Thank you for the answering the poll, so we can proceed ahead.
Oh, thank you. That's good. So sharing policies, some of the policies you can share before the start date. Some of the policies you would share post start date. And you probably experience when you have someone sitting in your office signing on the policy, they won't even look at it. They flip the pages, okay, sign kahan karna hai mujhe, and they sign it. And this is very personally very important to me, this particular line, manager, admin, IT preparations. A lot of onboarding companies, they struggle. They ask IT people, make sure the laptop is ready. Then they ask managers, make sure work is ready. So I believe during a pre-boarding process, the HR should assign certain tasks to managers, admins, or facilities individual to prepare what they need to do as part of the onboarding process. So onboarding is not about bringing employee only to office. We all need to be ready to welcome that guest who's coming to our office. So it's like inviting your family member, and manager, admin, IT preparations, all are preparing meal and cleaning the house and getting ready. Finally, the survey. It is very, very important. It actually tells the candidate or the employee who's turning into that you do care. And it also helps you. Maybe certain forms are too complicated for people to understand. The instant feedback will give you perfect results right there. And now the person starts the job, like the start day has come. Do online induction. And that's what Shafali, you were asking a few minutes back, employee engagement. Online induction, it's easy than it's done. So again, I'm going to recommend people, HR especially, to do a video call and walk through a presentation the way we are walking through today. Introductory video call with the team. It's imperative the entire team member be on a video call and meet and greet this individual on the start date. A manager needs to do role clarity on that day. Again, this is all happening on the very first day of the job, because they have completed all their other HR tasks before the start date. Now they will be very productive from the day one. That saves money for the organization if you do the math with number of hours they spend filling the forms on the start date. You can share your learning plans and training like sexual harassment, security training, all that you can do with them online. Again, the survey. This depends on the taste of your organization. Industry expert always recommend doing 30, 45, 60, 90 days survey, how well they're doing. Because Gartner and other companies have done the study, 63% of employees, they leave or plan to leave the organization in first 3 years, in first 30 days of their job. So it's imperative we do a survey in 30 days, how well as a company you're doing, how well your managers are doing, how well the team's doing. So what tools are available? Of course, technology is always an enabler. As I said, you have to have your process ready before you engage any technology. There are hundreds of companies who always say, okay, follow this. This is my standard. No, first you sit down and create your own process. How, as a company's vision, you want onboarding to be, and use technology to implement it. But in COVID and work from home times, I think mobile service is absolutely necessary. I think geotagging and online, clocking in and clocking out, punching through the mobile phone is absolutely necessary as a company. So, and certain analytics also needs to be implemented, so you know how many people are filling how much form and how much time do they take filling each form. Performance management also can be done remotely, pretty straightforward. You set the goals. We can cover that topic in detail some other time. The last part is dynamic task and workflow. So I personally believe onboarding is nothing but set of tasks laid out in a linear manner for not only for employees, but also for managers, as well as for IT, as well as for HR also, and make them accountable for what they are responsible to do at the time for hiring of employee.
So here, Jag, I would like to again launch a poll where I would like to ask people,
Please go ahead.
does their HRMS have an onboarding process? So I'm launching, request everybody to just do that poll. We'll wait for another 5 seconds.
No problem.
Okay, and I'm sharing the results.
%50 people do not have it.
Sorry?
I mean, I'm sharing results online. It says, does you have, it's almost 50% people says do not have it.
Do not have. Okay. I think majorly people are using it for payroll processing and the generic version only. So this is a good platform. I think we have to tell them about the geo tagging, the HRMS onboarding process. So this can definitely help them. So thank you.
I just
Jack.
want to add here one thing, and Shivali, this is something I can share with, since it's live, people can hear it also. I have to give a credit to a company called UBS, one of the largest investment broker. When I was leaving Diageo, I was joining UBS. And when I filled the paperwork online for recruitment and I go to their office, they give me an offer letter, and then everything is manual. I was mesmerized that, okay, half the process is all online, half the process is offline. And that's the day I started JSimple, building simplest HR tools. Just want to add that here, Juhi or Shivali.
Awesome.
Okay, should I move on, Shivali?
Yes.
Okay.
I have loads of questions piled up with me. I'm just waiting for you.
No problem. I have 2 more slides, that's it.
Okay.
So having a structured onboarding process, having a regular communication channel. Regular communication channel means that you do HR video introduction, then do a check-in review discussion with the candidate, and doing and sharing policies, things like that. You actually going to achieve these things. You're going to gain trust. You're going to have a data accuracy because all the forms are filled by the individual person, are less likely to make mistakes. Employees are engaged prior to joining. Like if you buy an iPhone and show it off to people, right? That's how employees going to do when they talk to their friend. Oh, by the way, my company does this before joining. And you always see performances enhanced on this individual. First day is productive because everything is done before the start date. And making a great first impression. First impression is the last impression. This has been saying for ages. It's very important. Minimizing the risk of employee abandoning the offer. And this is personally very important to me because you spend a lot of time and money. I think you guys know my HR spends hours and hours finding the right candidate. And what if that candidate doesn't show up? It takes a lot of effort to find somebody. So this process will minimize because they are engaged from the beginning. They start falling in love with your organization.
So we are already in love with this product.
Thank you. Okay. By enabling a smooth virtual onboarding process, your employee will definitely, as I said earlier, have a first impression and believe, and this is very important for everyone, they will believe that your company as an employer, you are very well organized and company, well connected and consistent with their messages and respectful, because you have been calling and contacting those individuals. They feel very respected, and that's what they need, individuals. And
Great.
that's where my
Can I run
sorry.
another poll here by your permission?
Please go ahead.
Okay. So people, please bear with me. This would be the last but not the least, one more poll. So I already know the answers because few chats I have read. So people already want to know about this, but still. Okay, so I'm ending it, and again, Jag, you have to tell me the result because I don't know what's happening today. I'm not able to see the poll results.
So I think sharing screens, 86% individuals are saying they were keen to know
Wow.
about a sorted HRMS onboarding facility. Okay.
So that gives me space that I can ask you more and more number of questions.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. No, please just finish with this PPT and then
I'm done. I mean, the purpose of inviting people, guys, please be respectful. I mean, I read online or saw some video where one of the exec of a company says India needs to work 60 hours a week to be where they was before COVID. I disagree, respectfully disagree to the statement. I think employees, if they work what they need to do job and they fall in love with your organization, nobody can in the world can stop this company from growing. Like my company, whatever we're doing today is only because my employees are like my family here, and they are my inspiration essentially.
right.
So go ahead, Shivali. I'm completed. Any question answer? This is my contact, my LinkedIn. Karnika is my head of business in India. Her contact is also here.
Wow, thank you so much for taking us through this beautiful presentation, Jack. And here I have some questions. Let's start from the basic questions. Like, our people want to know what is geotagging?
Who wants to know? RPP, you said.
Sorry?
Who wants to know? So I would pronounce the name accurately.
Okay, so Anirudh wants to know, then Sangeeta wants to know, Srilipsa wants to know.
Okay. Thank you, Anuruddh Srinitha. If I pronounce your name inaccurately, I do apologize. So geotagging is, so right now people are working from home. Geotagging allows HR to know exactly where the person is clocking from. Clocking means, in office, you might have biometrics or, card system, punch card system or things like that. In geotagging, they log into phone and they click the button and system captures their geolocation up to 7-meter accuracy. If you are in, let's say, Noida sector 71, so you know where employee has been. Some people call it micromanagement, but I think it's not. It actually ensures that employee safety, they are at home, you know where they are at all times. Like in the United States, employers are responsible if employees are in their office location. So working from home policy requires to have a desk which is safer to say, seat is very safe to sit. All those things you can capture. If employee clocking in from, let's say, from restaurant, that's not acceptable at times also. So that is geotagging. There's something called geofencing also, which retailers uses a lot, which is like you create a fence of geo distance, As soon as someone enters that distance or enter that circle, system automatically clocks them in. Especially for retailer like McDonald's or Chai Point and Chow's, they love that kind of thing. When someone walks into their office, they won't even have to go into the phone to clock in. System automatically clocks them in as soon as they enter that fence, which is like 35 meters round. That's called geofencing.
So do you mean to say that 35 meters, within 35 meters, our product can trace our attendance?
Yeah, it clocks you in, the person is in there.
Mhm. Okay. So because
And
35
then
meters,
there is a,
normally what we have learned is 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer radius.
sorry, say that again.
I'm saying from other products or from some of the HR professionals, what we have learned is 1 kilometer radius.
Quite possible. Depending on the geo service they're using. In the world, there are only 3 providers. We use Google services, so we can speak what Google has stated publicly, and my other clients what they say.
Okay.
And last thing, if it helps Anrit and the other person who asked the question, is there's geo tracking also, which Uber uses. So where the employee is during a day or where they move, all that tracking is called geo tracking also. So geo fencing, tagging, and tracking as well. Go ahead, Shafali, back to you.
Okay. So thank you so much, Jag. I think the audience question is very well answered, that what is geotagging, and thank you so much for this. Then Madhuri asks us, which are the other 2 companies apart from Google in geotagging?
Apple is there and Microsoft is there. These 2 giants are there.
Okay.
And
Perfect.
I'm not going to comment on these big companies. Why? My personal is we stay with Google. We use their technology much. I love them, though we use Microsoft also.
Kanika, please, a request if you can mention these names in the chat box, if it is possible.
Sure, we'll do that.
Thank you. Then Mr. SP Singh asks, because he is an industry professional from a lot of PSUs, any PSU experience that you can share? To be more precise about his question, any research showing that online onboarding done from day one, when you take out the add to day of joining, is the best way to ensure retention?
Okay. There are studies done. I don't have a exact study link or anywhere, but we can definitely share that with you. Karnika can. The study was done. A structured onboarding ensures people stay longer with the organization. As I said earlier, 63% individuals make the decision to stay longer in the first 30 days of the job. And the individual dropping out from acceptance, I can personally speak from our own experience. Every company, my friend, he heads one of the cluster in Wipro. He was one day saying, Jag, I have a big problem. We were discussing over dinner. Apparently, we had this situation only once or twice in last 2 years, Shafali. Only because what we believe, HR needs to be in touch with the individual, asking them how they're doing, sending them more information about the product. I give you a classic example. Everyone loves iPhone in India. I mean, Karnika is in love with iPhone. When you buy a new iPhone, you say, oh, dekho, I got a new iPhone. It can do this, it can do this. You making other people fall in love with your company same way. You share your details, how your company works, how well organized you are, how human elements are there in HR, bring people closer to you.
So here I have another question which is popping in my mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
We are talking about virtual onboarding, and again, you rightly mentioned that people love to have that human touch, that personal touch. So while virtual onboarding, how do we give a warm welcome to our new joinees?
Video call. If shipment is allowed, then send something welcome gift to them. If not, depend on the situation you are in. Make sure that you're doing consistent video call and dressed appropriately for those meetings. Never treat in a casual environment. Even at home, pick the spot which is more formal. There's a background concept in Zoom and other online meeting softwares. But respect the individual and their time. But do it consistently, minimum 3 times. The day they start, in the middle, and on the first day. When people get consistent messages, it works. I mean, you must have heard kids work better if there are consequences. Kids works better if they see mom and dad are doing exact same thing over and over again. So please, if you treat the employee with respect and like their family, I have no doubt in my mind that they will fall in love with your company and with you as an HR person.
Wow.
And
I think
especially nowadays, Shafali, with social media, everyone knows what's going on here and there. So they keep checking. Even after joining, people will check. But once you make that little connection, they won't go anywhere else, no matter how other person are calling them.
and somehow I feel that people are more connected while talking on a Zoom call or any other video calls, because otherwise we have a mindset that yes, we know we can meet them anytime, we can do a call. So now this new virtual world has a great idea where people can connect with each other and very easily. So
Correct.
a lot of old friends, a lot of old working professionals have joined together, and they are just having a good time because they are saving on traveling time and a lot of things. So they are just trying to make best use of this time. So
It's a
thank you,
beautiful
Jag, for sharing
opportunity.
this. Here we have another question from Suman. What could be employee engagement activity to engage I think we have already done with this question. So, but if you can slightly summarize it so that I think people initially were trying to understand the product and all. So if you can quickly answer this, please.
So what did I hear that you're looking for what kind of employee engagement activity can be performed online? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, this is the question by Suman.
Okay, Suman, thank you. There are a long list of employee engagement activity you can do. I'm going to share one or two which we have employed personally in our company. Depend on, so employee engagements are directly proportional to type of culture and type of company you have, how much attrition you have, what type of jobs you have. So that depends on that. So you have to figure out what's the right one. But for a company like our service company in IT field, we do most of online, a playing game, and there is a word game and bingo also, but we do on a video call so that people can see each other when they play game. We play music also at times. And sometimes we do ask them to make a video and share with us some funny video they have done over last 1 week, working videos. And then they do a poll, which video was good. And people love that. Like, I mean, nowadays you have seen the spike on TikTok videos, right? People love that thing. Companies can do such similar videos and also, but more professional type videos. So sharing video, playing online games, which is very popular in your company, and watching, one of the company I know from a friend in Noida, what they did, they actually watch it. What is the episode called? Karnika, that you were watching, the heist, whatever, money heist.
Yeah.
So what they said, okay, this management, this is top management. Please don't take any offense or any way. This company, the management team, they were asked to watch that video, the 2 seasons, and then discuss it as part of a like book reading concept. There was a message for each and everybody, and they're not. By the way, my friend is not doing any heist or something, but it's just one of the example I want to take. Does that answer your question, Suman?
Everybody is on mute, so on her behalf, I can
Okay.
say yes, the question is answered.
I have one more question. Can I ask or should I write there?
Yeah, please.
Just to check, suppose there is a new joinee and joining process is done. And during this online, this lockdown, I just want to conduct their induction with the all team members. So in that case, is there anything, there are 2 new joinees. So I just want to conduct a virtual game for a short time, or I want, all the employees should interact with each other. So is it possible through virtual or like online team meeting?
Absolutely possible.
Okay, so
Absolutely possible.
is there any way, or kind of, you can say, a particular thing to conduct on that day, so at least they'll, feel more interactive kind of session?
So one of the oldest method is so let's say we have these people. I don't know how many people online right now. Let's say 10 or 15 people, and then each 10 people talk about each other on the video call. Why Karnika? What's her role is? So me talking about Karnika tells the new employee, okay, even not only Karnika knows about herself, other people know about her. So what happens, everyone individual talking about their colleagues appear and on the video call, how well they are, what is the good, what is not, what is working from them, why they are good in the company. So mostly geared toward positivity initially. That's one way to ensure the new employee also likes, okay, people love each other. They like to hear good things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way you can do that. But initially, very first day, no games are recommended. Again, it's up to your company's requirement and how your vision and culture is. First day is purely introduction, some good stuff, what the company does, what are the accomplishments. So one of the thing also works in organization is when HR asks, okay, Karnika, what's your accomplishment? Or Purnima, what's your accomplishments? On the call with other people and having a new person hear that also live.
Okay.
Remember, world is bombarded with negative and fake news online about everything, from prime minister all the way to anywhere in the world in China. So better we have share a better news about our company, it'd be great.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jack, for answering this question. Now here I have another question. Like when we do virtual onboarding, sometimes if it's a sales oriented organization, people join at different parts of the country, somebody at MP, somebody at Delhi, somebody at Rajasthan, any part of the country. So how do we take care of their documentation, as in some papers are mandatorily we have to get signed by the in person by the joinee. So how do we take care of joining formalities?
So that's an excellent question. A, your onboarding software needs to have three things. A, it should have a picture capability to upload the document directly. B, it should have an e-sign option where they can physically sign on the mobile phone or on from a tablet. Lastly, and I mean, obviously they should be able to upload document and all, and camera facility also. So if I'm sharing my phone or my let's say license, I should take a picture with license selfie also. Finally, this all depends, Shafali, on the local laws and state laws. I don't know the Indian laws that well, but my team would know. But in the United States, if someone is hired, they can upload all the documents directly. When we upload a license or something, we take a picture of a license and upload. So your onboarding tool needs to have a capability for camera, e-signature, and browsing and uploading the file directly onto the tool at that particular step. But again, please check with your local laws, especially state-wise, to make sure you're in compliance.
But that at least says that there is an option, there is a possibility.
Absolutely. I think with India being in a forefront of technology age I was surprised and actually I loved it. Our entire company is done online, everything. So I think in India is forefront of these kind of technological enhancements around HR.
Okay. So is there a process where we can, onboarding is okay, that we can give a warm welcome, we can do employee engagement activities for our new joinees, for our members. Can we measure the performance also, that whether the guy working at home is actually working or not, and what is his performance, what is his output?
Okay. I mean, it's very difficult to gauge this way. Every company, every manager is different. So I'm going to go back to the same kid example. There's consequences and there is a repeated methods. So manager needs to have a process together. Okay, at 6:30, if send me a DSR of what was accomplished. And manager needs to make sure they check the DSR and check back with the employee the very next day. This makes sure that whether the manager reads everything, you know what I mean. There's a lot of places you see a CCTV camera. Some of them are actually fake. You guys know that, right? There's a lot of fake camera. Why? It deters people from doing anything which are not right. Similarly, and please don't take me in a wrong way when I give this example, we don't want to micromanage our employees, but if you have a process together of status reporting and have a clearly defined goals in the beginning and sometimes target-based goals. So sales team have a target of, let's say, 50 demos a week. Manager needs to make sure they check on it and tie the performance with that. And all that can be done through the tool. I'm not saying let people go after that. No, not at all. Educate them, train them, so their performance keeps going up. But keep mentioning that on in weekly meetings. The tools are necessary to manage, or you can do it in Excel also if you have a smaller team.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So while working from home, while this virtual world is on, a lot of companies have already come up with the option that for next 6 months, for 1 year, they'll be giving work from home as an option. Somebody will work with 33% or 50% only. So besides this virtual onboarding, employee engagement, and all these kind of activities, what else can you suggest that we can be regularly engaged, or is there a tool or an option that we can get to know more about our people while they're working from home? Like I heard sometime that you have some attrition prediction, you have some mood.
I mean, I mean, as I said, analytics in one of the slides. Analytics are very important for any company to understand how their population is moving within the organization. Either males are happier, females are happier or not. Are they paid equally or not? And performance is the key. Finally, attrition. Knowing the attrition is way more important than actually just doing an Excel files and creating fancy graphs. So that's what, when we started this HR on tips, HR information on fingertips, my prime goal was how do I predict attrition based on the data in the system? And we have, in a past data, we use Diageo, we use IBM, we use other test data with a 93% accuracy of knowing who are the individuals more likely to leave. Now with remote working, this data model will change because people are sitting home. They are more aligned and connected to the social world, to other jobs also. So it changes everything. So data for every company is very, very important. And that's the reason one of the key elements of onboarding is data security also. Does that answer your question? I know a little convoluted answer, but I want to make sure that you...
No, you have rightly answered. Thank you so much for that. So here I'll pick up a question from Mr. Sandeep Bhan. I missed this question earlier. Yes, we have answered his question in a couple of our old questions, but still to give him a concrete answer. He wants to know more about popular HRMS with virtual onboarding.
Okay. I mean, I'll be super honest here. We have our own HRMS, but I would suggest, I don't know what size of the companies Mr. Sandeep is from, how big the company is, what they do. There are a lot of recommendation. Obviously, I always recommend our own software because we spend a lot of time, especially artificial intelligence based HRMS. For Workday, SAP, Oracle, they also are there in the market. But again, depend on the need. So Zoho is also there in the market, very old system. The long list of HRMS, but only few have achieved artificial intelligence enabler techniques within the HR, and we are one of them.
Okay. So someone says attrition prediction is interesting. So I think people are falling in love, as I initially told. So is there a possibility, I'm just trying to make a request, that while screen sharing, we can see the product with which you are in love, so that we also fall in love?
Attrition prediction, I would need some time to show it.
Not the attrition prediction, but at least, the basic framework of the product which you have, wherein we have spoken about a lot of things, virtual onboarding, we have spoken about geo tagging. So can we just see a glimpse of the product that you're talking about?
I can certainly look into that. I can ask my team. So we would have to hold for a few seconds because I have to ask my team.
Okay. I think we would be able to, people would be able to give you 30 seconds, 1 minute for that.
Is that okay?
Can you please answer on the chat box? I'm just requesting him on your behalf. Sure. Okay.
Juhi, could you take this forward?
Yeah, hi Kanika. Sure.
So I'm sorry for bringing in this all of a sudden, but what is happening is that the more I'm talking about this, the more I'm knowing about this. So I eagerly want to see that what is it we are talking about.
No, thank you, Shefali ji. We'd actually love an opportunity to showcase our product as well. The best thing that I would say about HR on Tips would be that it's the best tool for HR at the current moment, because we are using a lot of ways in which you can work remotely, help your clients in the virtual mode, and geo-tagging being one of them. So Juhi will showcase the product interface in a minute.
Okay. I've already given her the access, so she can just do the screen sharing.
Any other question, while I can answer what I can answer.
So in case, audience, if you have any of the question, you can quickly put in the chat box. I'll take your question. Otherwise, I'll pop up with my question. Okay, so we have a question. Is there a way to predict who will meet their sales target and who are likely to miss them? Wow.
I think this is an excellent question. I mean, that's a excellent question. So if you have a process defined and have a historical data, system can predict up to 90% accuracy who are more likely to meet the targets. So prediction of any kind, artificial intelligence predictions are pretty old school. Though we gave the name linear stuff, we studied in school. I studied in school, a basic calculation method. But having a right data elements and having a right data modeling can only predict data or predict what will happen. In this case, if you have historical data or you start building the data based on a structure now, then in 1 year time, you'll be able to predict much better. But if you have historical data, then you can start predicting to some degree, yes.
So I believe historical data, maximum of the organizations are already keeping with them. So that means that if we have the historical data in our database, so we can predict that whether the organization or whether the individual would be meeting their sales target or not. Right?
Correct. Correct.
So I think that's a beautiful insight, which again, the audience is maximum from HR industry. So this is again a beautiful thing that you can predict that whether your people would be completing your target or not. So excellent question, Monica, you have come up with.
This is a very nice question.
Yeah.
So while Juhi is preparing or something, I just want to show if you can see my screen. That's a mobile look of our application.
Yeah, it is visible.
This is clock in, clock out. I mean, she can show more detail. Then there's a task management. And this is like what's the target, what the goals are, performance management, all through mobile application.
Can you see my screen?
We can't see your screen now.
I've just shared it.
No, now I think it is Jag's screen only.
How do I give the control back to her?
You just switch off your share screen option.
Okay.
We can see your screen now, Juhi.
Okay. So I'm just going to highlight few artificial intelligence points which are there in HR on Tips. We automate candidate screening This is something which is handled from the AI technology. So based on the recruiter's behavior, we filter out the right candidate for a job that you post. So this is something which is there. We detect anomalies like attrition prediction or anything which is related to compliance violations. These are some things which are detected by the system. So the HR on tips algorithm, it actually acts like a detective sitting at the back and watching the data, and it gives you an alert when something goes wrong or something goes out of the standard of the industry. We gauge employees' mental health. We do it through happiness index. This is one of the feature which is there in HR on tips, and it will actually help you in identifying the people who are not happy at work, and you can also take preventive actions to retain such employees. Then of course we have HR matrix and scorecards, which means BI, that is business intelligence element, is also present as a part of this product that can help you in having a better picture of the organization. So these are some alerts that you see on the right hand side, which gives you few information related to attrition and other compliance violation. So as Jag explained that the attrition prediction is done based on various parameters from the data, and this is how it is presented.
Okay.
In the interest of time, Julie, could you just show the dashboard of the product, if that's what I think
Yeah.
she was asking for?
Sure.
Use the dev environment.
Yes. I hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the dashboard. This is how it looks like. This is the dashboard for the HR. We have different dashboards for different role types. You can see the total employees and other details of the presence of the employees, followed by the graphical representation. This is just a distribution over the company. And here you find all the alerts, be it related to attrition or any other compliance violations that the HR or the management can come through. We also have happiness index that I had highlighted. So this is something which will be provided to all the users, and people can actually come and give the input based on which the analytics are made. And you can actually put up a survey also. If you find somebody being annoyed for over a long time, you can put up a survey that can be filled by the employees, and you can come to know the root cause. Why is this person not happy? And you can take preventive actions after that.
And then you can
Something
predict.
different, Julie.
Sorry?
I'm saying this is something different, which I haven't heard in any of the software.
Yes. So this, this was a mimicking of, so when you walk into the office, Shafali, what person asks you? My HR asked me, oh, Jag, how are you doing today? Based on my response, whether I'm happy or not, she gauges, okay, aaj Jag ke paas nahi jayenge. He's not in a good mood. Today, we will do this today. So we thought we have to build something within the system, which actually when you log in to look at your payslip or anything, we'd ask you a few emojis, because nowadays Gen X and Gen Z and all are emoji individuals. By doing this, we can predict who's going to be happy that day or not based on the historical information. So that's the reasoning, the rationale behind it.
Wow, beautiful.
Shafali, any question, or you want us to show anything? I mean, we can go for hours giving. We are so excited, my team. So
I am. How happiness index is calculated?
I mean, that's a proprietary information that we can, I don't know how we can share, but we look at, is it a morning, evening? We also track whether the mouse movement of the individual, were they happy and then went to amused? Because, human psychology, they don't want to tell their employees, I'm unhappy. They move their mouse, how it moves around the emojis. So we capture that as well. We capture how many times you clicked on it, what time of the day it was, whether it was before you've taken the vacation or after vacation, before Diwali, after Diwali, before gift, before review, before after, before the manager change, after the manager change. So that gives that, if you look at it, this is a humongous data. So HR is in forefront of this attrition prediction.
Right. So thank you so much, Juhi, for sharing this on
I mean,
a.
if someone interested, we can set up a separate call, give the details.
Yes.
So we can do some follow-up sessions also, and we can do one-to-one demos also. For anybody who is interested, the contact details were already shared and will be shared again in case anybody is interested. So we can always, do some more sessions. We can do some live demos over Zoom call. Everything is possible. So thank you so much, Juhi, for sharing this. Thank you, Jag, for introducing this beautiful product to us, the services for which the today's industry professional is looking for. So here I would request Kanika, if you can speak some words about today's session, the what key things we offer to the people and what are the key takeaways.
Thank you, Shipali ji. Firstly, I'd like to thank you for organizing this for us. It was a great platform, and we've been speaking to a lot of our clients, and we have been getting these queries and these doubts and apprehensions about going forward by moving HR completely online, especially at this time. And it was great that we could come together to put forth and share our information. Thanks, Jag, for giving your time and sharing all these details. I hope we were able to help our fellow participants. We have a long list of more things that we can share with you. So if you stick along, we'd love to come back to share more details. I have dropped in our contact details in the chat, and we have also sent you an email earlier in the evening. So you can reach out to us if you're looking for some product like this. We have a lot to tell you about our own product, and I think that can only happen when we meet one-on-one. So thank you so much. Thanks to everyone for joining us today. And thanks again, Shipali and Jai.
Thank you, everybody. Be safe, please.
Thank you so much, Jag, for joining. And thank you, wonderful audience, for joining us today and hearing out this beautiful session. As I told earlier, in case we have any queries, in case we want to, have further discussions, we can always speak one-to-one. Thank you so much for joining. And thank you, Jag, and thank you, Kanika. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.